watching Sunshine in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make chamoy icicles. This was one of our favorite treats in my household in the summertime. And since we live in California, today is actually 80 degrees in the middle of December, so I'm craving some popsicles. I actually never get tired of ice cream all year round, so this is a good treat for me all the time. What you're going to be needing is the chamoy, of course, one of the stars of the recipe. And you're going to be needing a 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 1/4 cup of water, and some little cups to mold your popsicles. You could use some wide ones like this. See how they're a little bit wide? Or you can use some narrow ones, however you want your popsicles. So if you want like a long narrow one, or if you want a more wider one, just depends on the cup that you use. You're going to be needing some tahine. That's what tahine is. And the tahine is kind of like a, have you ever had like a chili lemon candy, or maybe you've put it on top of some fruit? It has a really nice little lemony taste to it and a little bit salty. That's what this is. Some plastic spoons, and I like my spoons a little bit flexible. There's some that snap really easy and there's some that bend. I like the bendy ones. Some foil that I had already cut up, and I'll let you know why we're going to be needing this later. Some lemon and a blender. And we're also going to be needing some mangoes. You can use fresh mangoes. I feel like it's a lot easier just to use the frozen mangoes. They're like this. You can use the Dole mangoes or just the generic store brand. So they're frozen and they're really easy to work with, and they're already nice and chopped up for you. It's a really simple recipe, just a couple ingredients, and it's super good. I've actually had this recipe requested for a couple birthday parties, and people love this dish. They're like, can you just make like 100 of them and bring them to a birthday party? And I think it lasted about 20 minutes at a birthday party. Everyone was having like 2 in one hand. It was just a big hit. So now I know in the future, if I ever make this for a special event, probably 200 to 300 because they're that good. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is the top, or the big part where it gets all mixed up in the blender. And to this, I'm going to be adding my 2 cups of the frozen mango. I have 2 cups of mango, and I'm going to be adding my 1 cup first. And I kind of eyeball it. This looks like plenty of water to me, and I'll start mixing it up. If it doesn't blend the way I want it to, then I'll add the rest of my 1 cup of water. Maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to be adding my 1/3 cup of sugar. Put the top on. Okay, so I just took it off the blender. What I like to do, because you want to make sure that the mango puree is really sweet. I feel like once you freeze it, a little bit of the sweetness starts to dole out, and it doesn't taste as sweet as it does right here. So I like to overly sweeten the smoothie mixture, and then when it freezes out, it'll be a pretty nice balance. So just give it a taste. I think that's perfect. It tastes really, not overly sugary, but it tastes really sweet. And you want to make sure it's like a smoothie texture. I like to set it to the smoothie. Well, there's no smoothie button right here, but I like to pulse it till it's a nice smoothie texture. And it's not too much of a liquid, and it's not chunky. I don't really like the mango chunks in it, but if you do, then hey, that would be fine too. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, this is what's going to be on the top of your icicle, and I'm just squirting some chamoy in there. It could be one flat layer, or sometimes I even like to get it on the sides, and it makes it a pretty cool effect once the mango's in it, like a little bit of a swirl. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And I like to do a pretty good amount because once this is frozen, it has such a good flavor to it. So you can make some with a little bit for the people that don't really like chamoy, and some with a lot. Just like that. And you can even go like that, so it gets on the edges a little bit. And when I pour the mango smoothie into the chamoy, I like to go pretty slow. If you go really fast, it doesn't really have a divider between chamoy and mango. It kind of just mixes in together because the pressure of the smoothie is just mixing it all around instead of laying on top of the chamoy. So you want to pour it in slowly on the side. Just like that. See those designs I was talking about? It's going to freeze up like that, so when you look up here, it's going to have chamoy instead of just on the top. So it's going to be all the way around. And I've made this recipe a lot of times. That might be the reason why I'm able to just pour it straight from my blender. If you want, you can get a big ladle or spoon and scoop it from the blender right onto the chamoy. So you're going to keep doing this until you fill up all your cups. Really quick, I just wanted to show you what happens when you pour your mango mixture into the chamoy too quickly. So when you pour it in nice and slow, it makes it half and half. When you pour it in too fast, like what I just did, is it pushes all the chamoy up and it mixes in with it completely. Which, it has a cool little design too, but if you're going to go for a more classic look like this, a more clean look, then I would suggest you pour it in really slowly. See the difference? Okay, so now I have all of my mango puree on top of my chamoy icicles. And now I'm going to be grabbing the foil. And you could use plastic wrap, sticky wrap, or foil, whatever you have handy in your pantry. And you're going to want to cut it into squares. The squares just have to be big enough just to cover the circle part of however big your cup is. So some cups are more narrow, they'll be a little bit smaller. I overly cut them a little bit too large just in case. No harm in going overboard. Okay, so next you're going to grab your plastic spoon and you're just going to push it right through the foil. Just like that. And you're going to push it all the way down just to where it's covering the spoon. So there's your spoon, and go like that. Then you're going to get your icicle, and you're going to stick the spoon. I'll show you. So you're going to want to stick the spoon all the way in, and you're going to want it to be in the center. If you have it to the side, it's like having a popsicle stick, but with the popsicle stick all the way to the side of the icicle. So you're going to want it in the center so it's a nice stable base to hold your popsicle. And it might move around just a little bit because it's not frozen yet, so it is liquid in there. So it might move around, but that's why you want to poke the hole in the center of your foil, so the hole's the center of your cup, if that makes sense. So it's just like this, and if it moves around a little bit, that's fine. Just keep trying to move it back so it's facing straight up, and do it to the rest of your cups. And once they're all finished, pop them in the freezer for about 3 hours or until they're completely frozen, and take them out, and then we'll go from there what the next step is. Okay everyone, so we are back. It's been a couple of hours. I was able to eat dinner, watch some TV, checked on my popsicles, and all I do is I take off the foil and I try to wiggle it around. If it's not moving around anymore and it's completely solid for the mango part and the chamoy part, then they're ready. So there's a little trick to getting these popsicles out of the cup. if you try pulling it out, you're either gonna rip the spoon apart from the ice cream, or it just might break in half. So what you're gonna wanna do is, you could either run it under some hot water under your faucet in the kitchen sink. I would advise keeping the foil on it still so there's no water that gets in your ice cream, and I would have it on low. Or what you can do is you can just get a bowl of some hot water and dip it in, and when you pinch the cup, if it releases itself from the cup, then it's ready. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I have my bowl of hot water, and I'm just going to hold it from the spoon, and I'm going to dip it all the way in, and it's defrosting. It's starting to release itself from the cup. Just twirl it around. And if some of you are looking at this and not really knowing what chamoy is, I noticed I didn't really explain it. It's kind of like a liquid, like a Mexican candy. I feel like that's the best way I can explain it. I'm not sure if you've ever had any. It's kind of fruity, kind of sweet, a little bit of a lemon taste, and a little bit of a chili taste, all mixed in one. It's like some liquid goodness. It's really good. I haven't had it up until a couple years ago. I was always on the fence when I seen people squirt it over chips or squirt it over fruit. It wasn't really my thing because I never tried it, but I'm so glad I finally did, and I used it for this recipe, and there's no other way to go about it. Oh, by the way, this recipe is completely vegetarian and vegan. I know I have a friend that's vegan. I make this for her, and she really likes it, so there's another little trick. Okay, so you're going to spin it around, and what I do is I pinch the side, and it releases itself. And that's what it looks like so far. Super yummy, right? It gets better. So, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the popsicle in your hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the popsicle. You can either hold it in your hand, have a friend hold it for you, or set it right here on your foil on a counter. And you're gonna get the cup, and you're gonna squirt some lemon juice in it. Squirt all that juice right in there. If you like a lot of lemon, like I do, add a lot. Get your chamoy. You're gonna add some more chamoy back in here. Couple drops. That should be good. Then you're gonna get your tahini, and you're gonna add that right here. And you can get it on the sides, and let's see if I can get a picture of what this looks like. So it's lemony, it has the chamoy and some tahini, which is a really great combination. And you're gonna get your popsicle and put it back in, and you're gonna put it in there just like that, and you're gonna swirl it around, all of that sweet and lemon juice, and it's not too spicy. Perfect. And let's see if I can get a top view of what, and this is a top view of what it looks like. You can just add a little bit more. Sprinkle it right on top. And see it? Pretty good, right? Okay. So you're just gonna get your icicle, and you can lick it and take bites into it and eat it just from the spoon. And as you eat it, if you start taking a while to eat it and you don't destroy it within the first 2 minutes like some people do, and you just want to take your time eating it, totally fine. It will start to soften up, and it might fall off the spoon, but that's the great part about having it in a cup, because once it falls off the spoon, you can mix it around with your spoon and start eating it like a slushie. So first it's a popsicle, and then it's a slushie. So this is what it looks like. Super good. Let's see. And you could always, I'll show you. It's hard to do it with one hand. You could always get some more tahini and put it on the sides. So when you bite into it, it has some tahini on it. I'm gonna take a bite of that side right there. Oh my goodness. This is so good. It's a little lemony. I love lemon. so you start making a little bit of some sour faces. But it's so refreshing. It doesn't taste like, I don't feel guilty for eating it. I feel like it tastes like pure mango. It tastes fresh. I love the chili, the chamoy, the tahini, the lemon. This is just a classic dessert for me. This is refreshing. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, guys, and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching me make these mango chamoy popsicles, and until next time, God bless from my kitchen to yours. Bye!